Let's fix some shoulders. Shoulder strengthening. I am actually kind of annoyed. I'm just learning about this now, or a few months ago. But there's an easy way to strengthen your shoulders. So if you're human and have shoulders, then this is for you. And the first part of this is accepting what your shoulders are. They're a ball and socket joint. They move in a 360-degree range. So strengthening your shoulders requires that you mimic this rotational range of movement that engages every muscle, ligament, and nerve in that area. Otherwise, if you're not doing that, it won't work. And the solution mankind came up with is swing a stick with a weight on one end. It's so annoyingly simple. And they've talked, various websites will talk about when we discovered this. I couldn't figure it out. It's somewhere between 3,000 and 300,000 years ago. So not much help there, but a long time. I think the other thing that really surprised me with it was, well, there's a few things. How quickly it helped me. I was having trouble squat snatching. I couldn't get my shoulders back into the position for a catch. If you know what that is on a squat snatch, doesn't matter. But I didn't have full range of movement on my shoulder. So pretty quickly, this fixed that. And as I was looking into it and researching it and watching videos, it really became clear that this being club swinging is not an accessory movement. It's not something where you go for physical therapy. It's not something you do once you're injured or, I've got this little twinge in my shoulder from bench press. No, club swinging is the primary movement. Everything else that you do that involves picking some weight up, whether it's in the gym or in your sport, whether it's golf or bench press, tennis or deadlift, club swinging is the primary movement. Everything else is secondary. What kind of stick should you swing? There's a lot of different kinds, and they have a lot of different names. The Persian meal, the Indian jori, the Indian mudguard, the Indian gada, Indian clubs, the balava, mace, and heavy clubs. The primary differences between all of them is simply total weight and the location of the center of mass. So the answer to which type of implement you start with is clubs. Now, clubs have two primary categories. You have light and heavy. Light clubs, typically called Indian clubs, range in weight from 1 to 6 pounds. They're good for, honestly, I don't know much about Indian clubs, but they're much faster movements for speed, hand-eye coordination. Heard they're very good for some types of rehabilitation, but that's not where I started. I recommend you start with heavy clubs. Which club should you get? So I'm going to show you the one I went with. This is their Maverick Club Pro from Dangerously Fit. Got the handle, pommel, some decent knurling on it. You've got a fairly long sleeve to fit a decent amount of weight on here. So I purchased a bunch of very cheap cap steel 2.5 pound plates. You can just slide those on. And then they have this collar here. This collar is a serious improvement from their previous version. They were just using plastic Olympic bar collars. So now they've got this bolt that cinches down, but it's got an inner metal ring that prevents scratching and damage to the sleeve. So this just slides over. And once this is on, this thing does not move. This is wow, I really undid it quite a bit here. So cinching this down, this thing is not going to go anywhere, and it doesn't leave the mark. So this is highly adjustable. We can fit up to 50 pounds. I just stacked the 2.5 pound plates on there, and this thing is pretty awesome. So if we look at some of the other options available online, we have One of the more famous versions is the 8X system. So this has the handle, and it's got this loading pin that you slide on their proprietary weight system, and it looks pretty nice. I mean, it's if you look at these pictures, that is a pretty nice looking adjustable weight set. The reason I didn't like it is it's pretty expensive, $350. It also craps out at 28 pounds. So if you did want to try some heavy two-handed club swinging, this would be, you really can't do it. You'd have to get something else. And to me, that's kind of the point of these adjustable clubs, is you can experiment with adding more weight. And with the Maverick Pro, I can simply slide on another 2.5 pound weight and keep going up and up and up. Here, you really can't do that. So for the price, this didn't really make a lot of sense to me. This is CK Mace Works, and they make these, hand make these fairly beautiful handles, but they're $279, if you can read that. And depending on which loading pin you get, it goes up to $309. And you can't really load on too much. These loading pins aren't very long. So you're stuck with using 5 and 10 pound plates, which concentrates the load quite a bit more than using 2.5 pound weights. So it feels more like, or it looks more like a small mace than a club. If you look at the profile of a club, these have a barrel shaped, and so your center of mass is, somewhere over here or something. Whereas on the CK Mace work, it's all the way at the end for all of these. So this one, not the sexiest one, and you can see the old collar that they were using before. They do not ship that anymore. This new collar is amazing. So this, I can do everything I want. I can put any weight I want on it, and I'm done. And the total price with the weights is under $200. So if you were just going to get one club to solve them all, this is the one I would recommend. This is the one I am recommending. Now, the other style is the fixed weights. So here we're seeing Dangerously Fit's entire steel club catalog, and it goes from 5 to 65 pounds. And we can see some cost comparison here. So if we purchased all of them, if someone purchased every single club he sells, that'd be $1,956. That's quite a bit of money. You do get 450 pounds, and his price per pound isn't that bad. So these are reasonably priced clubs. They're great. I purchased some. Let's see. Let's go back here. So this is their 10 pound, and it's just simply very nice to have fixed club weights. You can simply just pick it up, and it is what it is. And you can go through your little motions and do a little warm up. You can set it down and go to the next club. So having these is extremely convenient. The other thing that's nice about fixed clubs is you generally don't need that many of them. So when I started, went to my CrossFit gym. I'm like, do we have any clubs? And they pointed me into the corner, and rusting away back deep in the corner underneath a bunch of stuff was a 20 pound club. And I tried lifting and doing a couple of moves I had watched on YouTube, and I couldn't do it. So it was way too heavy. So the single, I could not start with the 20 pound, even though I'm pretty strong. I strict press 175 pounds, bench 275, deadlift 405. But lifting that 20 pound club with one hand felt ridiculously unsafe. So I went back and bought the 10 and 15. The 10 now feels pretty light, but it's still nice to kind of warm up with that. And if you're starting off, you really, especially if you're using just one hand, which I'm now learning they don't recommend, you should probably start with two hands before you switch to one. these feel pretty heavy. So if all you're buying is three, I mean, it's only $216. That's probably what most people need. So moving, there's another brand. Let me show you that one. This is Hephaestus, and they're Cobra clubs. So these are the clubs that I'm going to be purchasing in the future. Some of the nice things about these is they're rubber coated. So if you drop them, they're not going to dent like tile, or hopefully won't dent the tile, but they're fully encased in rubber. Supposedly their grip is amazing. They've got this ribbed ring design, they're calling it. And the pommel looks pretty interesting. It's quite a bit different from most other pommels where you simply just have a circular head like here. If I can get it in the camera right. So there's been a number of people have really liked that. And pricing on the Cobra clubs. So if you bought them all, it's $1,627. And the pricing for their heavier clubs is quite reasonable. It's actually great. It's comparable to the dangerously fit steel clubs, the low fours. And as we move up, it gets higher and higher until we get kind of ridiculous numbers for these first two. They're 4 and 6 kilogram clubs. So you're spending $125 for a 9-pound club, $130 for a 13-pound club. So these are the only two that, oh man, it's a little painful to pull the trigger on those. But at the same time, they are the most useful. So I will not be purchasing those, especially since I already have a 10 and a 15 steel club. So the next one I'm going to be purchasing is going to be one of these, the 8 or the 10, as I move forward, because these are really cool clubs. And it's not going to be that much. Maybe once a year you buy another club. So those are my recommendations. I really like the Cobra clubs. I really like this adjustable club. Just going to go through the 6 basic movements of club swinging. Number 1, the pullover. Start with your arm bent, 90 degree, elbow tucked in, back and forward. The pullover. Some variations that I do like is kind of coming out to the side a little bit at a little bit of an angle, coming out fully to the side. You can extend your arm out with a twist. This is usually always part of my basic warm-up is the pullover. Number 2, the alternating 180 is a slight twist on the pullover. Instead of keeping your feet planted in the same position, you're going to twist to the side, start the pullover, and then end on the other. You're keeping your feet planted, feet facing forward, alternating 180. There it is. Number 3, the shield cast. You're going to come around over the head like so. So slow motion. Whoa. Yeah, I was having trouble doing the slow motion earlier because I had all these weights stacked here. Couldn't really do it that way. So you're just coming around your head, back to the starting position. Oh, shield cast. All right, number 4, circles. So you have inside and outside. For the next 3 movements, that's what they call inside and outside. So inside means you're moving from the starting position. The first motion is past your center line. So this is inside, and if I move this way, it's outside. So an inside circle would be coming in across my body, swinging it, and ending there. So inside, club moving across my body, first motion, boom. So the outside is simply away from the body, it's the first movement. Inside circle, outside circle. Number 5, pendulum inside and outside. So this is a circle, kind of a half circle, and you come back. So we're going to start with an outside pendulum. We're going to move it out, push our hands out, and it comes down, and we crouch down, pull the club back to the starting position. We're going to outside pendulum, and the inside pendulum is just going to cross our center body first. Oh, I didn't do it right. What the heck? There we go. The club is so light. So inside pendulum, we're going to swing it. Outside pendulum. Inside pendulum. Okay, so we're just kind of crouching down. So we're going to push it out, let it swing down. We're going to bring the momentum back to here. All right, the last one is the fun one. Be careful of these. I've actually, some of these circles, when you're throwing it around like this, if your hands get slippy and it's sweaty, and you can actually let go of these, and I found they can go 12 feet. So I've got windows either side, so I'm a little nervous about doing it with weights in my room now. But, so you've got the inside and outside mills, is what they're called. Some people will call the outside a reverse mill. So we're going to do the outside reverse mill first. Comes here, and let me do it in slow-mo. So we're going to come out here, push it away. It's going to come over. We're going to let it come over this. The weight is always going to come over the same shoulder. We're going to twist. So it comes over the same shoulder and then out. So that's the outside, because the first movement is away from the body. Boom. And it just keeps going. You just keep looping it around. Inside mill, we're going to go in, cross our center line first. It's going to go over the shoulder. So it comes up over the same shoulder. We're going to twist. These you definitely want to start light to get that motion as it's coming. This one I find to be a little bit trickier. So those are the 6. All right, little bonus tip. So I also purchased a 10-pound mace to just start practicing on it. And again, each unit, you have to keep buying more and more. And there are, like, Dangerously Fit does have their adjustable mace, similar to the Maverick Pro. But I already had all these weights, so I think I can just slip on these like that. Then I bought a collar off Amazon, a 1 5/8 collar, and I just cinch it down, and it's going to mar up the outside of my mace, which it already has. But now I have an adjustable mace. So if you do have one of these things, all you need is another collar here. But it does leave scratches, so it's not perfect. But for $20 for these collars, I already had the weights. I'm like, perfect.